My wife abandoned me while I was hospitalized and moved in with her affair partner. 12 years later, she tried to crawl back, and I made her regret it. I'm 42 now, but this story takes me back over a decade. I was 30, married to a woman I thought I'd spend my life with. Let's call her wife. We'd been together for 8 years, married for 5, and everything seemed solid. Nothing extraordinary, but comfortable. I worked in IT, she was in marketing, and I thought we were building a future. But that illusion fell apart when life hit me hard. It started with me getting sick. Out of nowhere, I was hit with a rare autoimmune disease. At first, it felt like the flu, but within days, I was hospitalized. I ended up there for nearly 2 months. I couldn't work, couldn't walk, could barely sit up without help. It was brutal. But what really knocked me down wasn't the illness. It was how wife reacted to it. At first, she seemed supportive. She visited me at the hospital, brought me little things I needed, and sat with me while I tried to keep my spirits up. I even apologized to her for being a burden. I know this is tough on you too, I told her. She smiled and said, "We'll get through this." I actually believed her. But then her visits started tapering off. One day she said, "Work is crazy, I'll come by tomorrow." Tomorrow turned into 3 days. When I asked why she wasn't around much, she gave me excuses. She wasn't feeling well, errands piled up, work was demanding. I told myself she was just stressed. I mean, this wasn't easy on either of us, right? What I didn't realize was that it wasn't about stress. It was about her not wanting to deal with me anymore. About a month into my hospital stay, my best friend came to visit. He looked uncomfortable, like he was wrestling with something he didn't want to say. After some small talk, he blurted out, "I saw wife last night. She was with some guy." I stared at him. "What do you mean, with some guy?" He hesitated. "At restaurant name." They were holding hands. It looked serious. I shook my head. "You must be mistaken. She's not like that." He didn't push it, just said, "I thought you should know." That night, I called her. She picked up on the second ring and sounded annoyed. "What do you want?" "I'm busy." "I miss you," I said. "Can you come visit tomorrow?" She sighed. "I'll try, but work's been crazy." She didn't show up the next day. Or the day after that. When I finally got discharged, I came home to an empty house. Most of her things were gone. No note, no explanation. I called her, but she didn't pick up. Hours later, I got a text, "I think we need space. This has been really hard on me, and I need time to figure things out." I texted back, "What the hell does that mean? I just got out of the hospital, and you're leaving me?" No response. Over the next few days, I started piecing things together. My best friend confirmed he'd seen her again, this time with the same guy, at another restaurant. He confronted her, and she didn't deny it. She said, "I can't handle being with someone who's so dependent. I need someone who matches my energy." When I finally got her on the phone, I asked her straight up, "Are you cheating on me?" Her response? "It's not cheating. I just found someone who makes me happy. You've changed, and I don't think I can do this anymore." 2 weeks later, she filed for divorce. I didn't fight it. What was the point? My health was still fragile, and I didn't have the energy to deal with her lies. The divorce was finalized within months, and she moved in with her boyfriend. Mutual friends told me they got engaged a year later. I tried not to think about it. I focused on getting better. Recovery was slow. I had to relearn how to walk without assistance, rebuild my strength, and deal with the emotional wreckage she left behind. Therapy helped, and eventually I moved to a new city for a fresh start. I got a better job, made new friends, and slowly started dating again. I wasn't bitter, at least not anymore. I told myself she was out of my life for good. But 12 years later, she came back. I was at a coffee shop, minding my own business, when I heard someone say my name. I turned, and there she was. Older, sure, but still recognizable. She gave me this awkward smile and said, "Hi, it's me. Can we talk?" I was caught off guard. Part of me wanted to walk away, but I didn't want to cause a scene. I gestured for her to sit. She started with small talk, asking how I was doing, mentioning how much time had passed. Then she got to the point. "I made a mistake," she said. "Leaving you was the biggest regret of my life. I was selfish and stupid, and I've spent years wishing I could take it back." I didn't say anything. She kept going. "I've been thinking about us a lot, and I realized you were the best thing that ever happened to me. I know it's been a long time, but I'd like a chance to make things right." I stared at her. "Make things right? After 12 years? You abandoned me when I was at my lowest, and now you want to come back." Her face crumpled, and she started fidgeting with her hands. "I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but I've changed. I'm not that person anymore." I leaned back in my chair, trying to process her audacity. "You didn't just leave," I said. "You cheated, lied, and walked away while I was fighting to survive. You didn't even care enough to stick around long enough to see if I was going to make it." Tears welled up in her eyes. "I was young and scared. I didn't know how to handle everything." "That's not an excuse," I said. "I didn't know how to handle being sick, but I didn't give up. You made your choice, and now you have to live with it." She begged me to give her another chance. "I know I hurt you, but I've been carrying this guilt for years. I just want to make it right." I stood up, grabbed my coffee, and looked her dead in the eyes. "I don't hate you, but I don't want you in my life. You showed me who you were when I needed you most. I've moved on, and you should too." I thought that was the end of it, but I was wrong. A few weeks later, I started hearing from mutual friends. Apparently, she'd been reaching out to them, spinning a sob story about how she regretted everything and how reconnecting with me was her only shot at closure. She told them she was struggling with depression and needed my forgiveness to heal. Some of them bought it. "Maybe you should talk to her," one friend said. "It sounds like she's really sorry." Another friend said, "She's been through a lot too. Maybe hearing her out would help both of you." I realized she wasn't just trying to reconnect. She was manipulating people to pressure me into giving her what she wanted. I wasn't about to let that happen. I started reaching out to these friends individually, calmly explaining the truth. I told them about how she abandoned me during my hospitalization, how she filed for divorce while I was still recovering, and how she moved in with another man within weeks. Most of them were shocked. "I had no idea," one friend said. She made it sound like it was a mutual thing. For the friends who pushed back, I set a firm boundary. "This isn't about forgiveness," I said. "I've already forgiven her, but that doesn't mean I want her back in my life. Please respect that." Eventually, the messages stopped, and she must have realized her tactics weren't working. But she wasn't done yet. A couple of months later, she showed up at my workplace. She walked right into the lobby and asked the receptionist to see me. When they told her I wasn't available, she started making a scene, saying she needed to talk to me immediately. Word spread quickly, and colleagues started texting me, asking what was going on. I went down to handle it. She was pacing back and forth, crying loudly enough for everyone in the lobby to hear. "I just want to apologize," she wailed. "Why won't he let me?" I walked up to her and said, "You need to leave. This is not the place for this." She looked at me, tears streaming down her face. "You won't answer my calls or texts. What choice do I have?" "You had every choice," I said. "And you made yours 12 years ago. You don't get to invade my life now because you're unhappy with where yours ended up." "I just want to make things right," she said. I shook my head. "You're not trying to make things right. You're trying to make yourself feel better. This is the last time I'm going to say this. Leave me alone." She finally left, but not before making sure everyone in the lobby saw her tears. I was done. I contacted a lawyer that same day and filed for a restraining order. I provided evidence of her workplace stunt, the repeated attempts to contact me through friends, and her behavior at the coffee shop. The court granted the restraining order, legally barring her from contacting me in any way. When she was served the papers, she sent one last message through a mutual friend. I didn't mean to hurt him. I just wanted to make things right. I didn't respond. Time passed, and I kept building my life. My career flourished, I traveled more, and I eventually found someone who showed me what real love and loyalty look like. The best revenge wasn't plotting or payback. It was living a life so full and happy that there was no room for the bitterness she left behind. In the end, she destroyed our marriage and tried to crawl back when she realized she'd lost something good. But it was too late. I moved on, and she was left to deal with the consequences of her choices. That was revenge enough.